Welcome to the Two-Man Podcast 2.0.
Woohoo! I'm back. I know my fans missed
Oh
me.
my
I was
God.
getting maintenance. I was getting oiled.
Yeah, we all missed you, Mitchell. The podcast was a fucking nightmare without you.
Yeah, I heard. What happened?
Oh my God, just
What was going on?
nightmare after nightmare, man. The internet wasn't working.
Well, I mean, I can't change
Leon. No, well, your internet seems to be the most stable, but Leon was 6 frames a second the entire time.
that. Oh, that's fun.
It was hilarious. It was great. Also, we just didn't get to hear about your excitement for the DC stuff that's going on. I didn't get to talk to you about some of the stuff that I saw in the Batman trailer, which is a bit of a shame, but you know, that's what happens.
I would have liked to
Is there
hear
anything
that.
you want to actually? If there's anything you want to actually say about what you saw?
Well, I
quickly?
don't know what everyone else kind of said, but I'm relatively positive. Like the Batman film with Pattinson, that looks really, really good and gritty. Like the way they should have done it in the first place with Batfleck. Suicide Squad game looks fun for a guy that doesn't really play those sort of games. That seems kind of
I
interesting.
mean, we don't really know much about it, do we?
No,
we need to see.
But I think the way the trailer was, you can see that the writing and the characterization is on the right track.
Absolutely. I will note it. Apparently, it definitely, from what I've heard, it's definitely not co-op.
Oh, that kind of disappoints me, but that's okay. That's not the end of the world. But I think it could work in a co-op situation, being that there's so many characters.
I think it could, but I'm actually excited to see what they can do with a solo experience with so many characters. You know.
Yeah, and it'll be cool. Maybe it'll be the Avengers experience that could have been for the Avengers.
What I want is like what GTA 5 single player was.
Yeah, exactly.
But then add in like just your characters can die left, right, and fucking center.
Yeah. I'm excited for the Suicide Squad film because I think they might learn from their mistakes. I'm an optimist with this stuff. And there was one that I was like, meh. Oh yeah, like the one with you, the Arkham Knights, I think it was called, the game.
Gotham Knights.
Gotham Knights. Sorry. Yeah. Meh.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's all I got.
Yeah, we got into it a little bit with that. Now you missed your controversial gaming opinion last week, but I don't want to talk about it just yet. I want to actually keep that to the end.
All right.
And also, that it's if we have the time for it, because it'll be interesting considering I don't have a lot of stories. I have quite a few, but they're all quite long. Like, they're all actually quite lengthy topics. I didn't think they were until I started writing them, and I was like, oh fuck. This is a problem.
Strap yourself in, kids. We're in for an Andrew monologue. Here we go.
Yeah. So last week you weren't here for this, but I mentioned DC and Rocksteady's Suicide Squad. I mentioned that 20 minutes before the podcast, I heard about some questionable things happening in Rocksteady, but I didn't go into detail.
Yeah.
Because I didn't know enough about it. So I actually went into detail now. I want to come back with the detail of the actual content within.
Yeah,
man. Look,
Yay! Woo! Gaming industry!
So essentially a letter was released last week, and it was dated for for November 2018. And it was signed by 10 of the female employees in the company. Now that seems like a really small amount, only 10, not many.
To me, that's a lot.
Well, no, so think about like the size of Rocksteady, yeah? There's around just under 300 developers. There's only 10 females signing it. You go, oh,
They probably only have 10 females on staff.
They only have 16 on staff, which
Holy
is fucking bonkers. That was the first thing, holy shit.
Let's, what else? Oh, God, I don't want to get too political because this isn't a political podcast. But if people are hiring people off merit, that's fine. Even if there's 16 women on staff, if they're not being biased and they're just going by who's good at their job.
It seems pretty questionable, man. Like,
I'm not saying
that
they're
is
not.
such a small
Just
amount
as a
of
general
females. in a
16
just under
is
300.
nuts. Yeah, I don't think they're being genuine, but I'm just saying.
But anyway, they raised complaints. There were 10 signatures on this letter. About
10 out of 16. Wow.
Yeah. Multiple misbehavings. Look, there was slurs regarding transgendered people in the transgendered community. Shit ton of sexualization and derogatory talk of some of the females in the actual group, and also sexual harassment, unwanted advances, being caught out perving on them.
Are these gamers or these people in their tough, powerful positions, when growing up they didn't get touched by a girl?
Yeah. Well, it's like
and now they're in all these
unwanted advances. It's pervy looks and a lot of unnecessary and inappropriate comments.
Really bad.
Now, that was a quote. So I'm reading some of the quotes from the letters, like as a summary. And the response essentially amounted to hushing it up, telling them not to go public with the letter, and we'll fix it by having a one-day training seminar. Which,
look,
now, that was the response. And so since 2018, all that's happened is one training seminar, multiple, like a lot of the signatories, so a lot of the females that did sign this have now left the company due to the lack of action. And it's bad. And
I don't know how you could expect people to learn off one training session.
I mean, the thing is, the training session's there to cover their own ass. That's realistically what it is. It's for them to be like, we did something, which is what we said last week, because I did mention that there was a training seminar, but I didn't know too much about what happened. Anyway, the actual, like, the woman who released the letter, she's anonymous, by the way, because she's afraid of it essentially going, like, fucking up her future career paths.
Who wouldn't be? Seriously, that is, but
absolutely.
Kudos for at least trying to get a message out there.
Yeah. And so she actually stated that since 2018, so she left the company too. She has also left the company. She's heard that recently, like, the main reason she posted it is actually thanks to the Ubisoft stuff. All the stuff that happened with Ubisoft and people actually copping shit and getting the justice done to them and actually losing jobs and stuff. She went, maybe we can actually make a difference now. And so she's gone and grabbed the letter that she wrote and got signed in 2018 and now has put it on public. But the other reason is apparently she'd heard...
Okay.
Well, she'd heard that it hasn't changed much from some of her friends that still work there. And...
Well, when they think they can get away with it and there's no real change or consequences, they're not going to change. Because it seems people like this have a really stubborn and childish mentality.
The thing is, like, the stuff that I read to begin with, right, was all verbal, no physical, yeah? But now she's talking about how she's now hearing groping claims.
Yeah, it's progressed.
And shit like that, which is really bad. It was bad from the beginning. It should have been fixed from the fucking beginning. But anyway, so the Rocksteady's now released a statement. I'm going to read their statement. You ready? Oh yeah, I should mention that this is all senior staff that's been accused of this. It's apparently not so much the entire developers base. It is always the big boys.
Jimmy that's been there for 5 days.
It's the big boys. Well, no. She actually did say, I would like to say that 97 to 98% of the developers there are great people. It's just that the small amount that aren't,
the ones that are
they're not managed at all.
That are in the powerful positions that have their money,
and they're also the ones that aren't being managed. They're like some of them. They're not even like CEOs or anything. It's just higher ups. They might be managers or leads for certain parts of the project. They aren't being managed, which is the problem.
They're watching too many of those like powerful figure like
I don't know where you're
Pornhub
getting with
videos.
that. Where you're going with that, but let's
They're
stop
watching
there.
like, ooh,
But
kid
no,
gets
anyway, so I'm
fucked
just
by
gonna
a
read.
teacher.
I'm just gonna read Rocksteady. Mitchell, you're meant to be the one that like keeps this podcast going.
I'm always the one that gets shit on for making stupid comments. All right, I'm gonna continue that trend.
Okay.
Pornhub. Go on.
That's it. Pornhub now. That's just the statement. But anyway, I'm gonna say.
There's the
read
title.
Rocksteady's statement.
Ship it out. It's selling.
Here's Rocksteady's statement.
Yeah. Go on.
In 2018, we received a letter from some of our female employees expressing concerns they had at the time, and we immediately took firm measures to address the matters that were raised. Over the subsequent 2 years, we have carefully listened to and learned from our employees, working to ensure every person on the team feels supported. In 2020, we are more passionate than ever to continue to develop our inclusive culture, and we are determined to stand up for all our staff. Fuck off.
I literally broke because that
here's
made
the thing,
me laugh.
right?
That was the most bullshit statement I've
here's the thing,
ever
right?
read.
Copy and paste that and put that next to Ubisoft. Sounds the exact fucking same.
Yeah,
it's literally both responses. It's the exact same.
It's all
every
business
time.
heebie-jeebie. It's
like, we're inclusive. We're very inclusive. Hey, guys. We're inclusive.
We're inclusive, we fixed our problems, and we're on to the next thing. I hope you enjoy our games.
Suicide Squad coming 2022. Yeah. I mean...
This is why we can't have nice things.
Like, what else can I say, really? You know, it's just like... It's just a shame, man. It's really just a shame, because...
To get off the bad news quickly, I did see something that was just released for The Mandalorian Season 2. They have a release date.
I don't care. I didn't really enjoy the first Mandalorian season, so...
Alright, so everyone out there that has good taste, the new season comes out on October 30th, so I'm really excited for that, because it's fucking...
No, that's really cool. I didn't dislike it. I
can't wait.
I sadly got to a point where it was while I was in New Zealand, so it was a lot harder to acquire.
Such a good show, dude, and the way they ended season 1.
I need to finish it. I just don't want to give Disney my money because they're greedy fuckers.
I mean, look, let's be real. Your money's not going to make a difference.
No, it's not. But I still don't want to give them my money. If I can, as much as possible. I'm not paying for Disney Plus. It's fucking trash fucking subscription.
All right. Well, anyways, that's the news. Mandalorian season 2, October 30th.
Great. Whoopty.
Whoopty.
Now, our next story, Madden NFL 2021. Now EA has been nailing it with their sports games, as we all know. And Madden NFL 21 is their most recent sports release.
I love me some EA.
And so I went on to... So I told you what I thought the ranking was. So I'm just going to... fucking... Spoiler alert.
We'll give you 5 seconds.
The user score
I think between 0 and 10. Go on, guys. Just have a think. Have a think.
User score is...
No, it's not that. Think again. Is that your final answer? Lock it in? Alright, Eddie, we've locked it in. Say, what's the answer?
It's 0.3 on the user score. It didn't even reach a 1.
Did anyone get a 0.3? For all that you did, well done. You get 3.
Well, here's the best part. So that's on PS4.
Points.
So on PS4, it is actually the lowest ranking Metacritic game. The lowest.
It's so bad.
I think it's tied lowest. And then the second worst, it's tied second worst on Xbox One with also a 0.5. And then on PC, it's third lowest with again a 0.5. Because obviously no one really plays them on PC. And the PC one, I think, is a really big one to mention because there are so many more games that are listed for the PC versus our current gen consoles. Because the PC has to date back to since PC games have been fucking out versus it's just PS4 games and just Xbox One games, and this is in the bottom 3.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Yeah,
absolutely
good.
beautiful.
EA and their sports game always gets me mad because
here's the thing, right?
They're always broken. They always don't make sense, and they're always filled with microtransactions. And these 12-year-olds, well, I shouldn't say 12-year-olds, like these sport fanatics, just eat it all up, and they have to be good at it because it fills their sport ego.
Well,
I shouldn't say that.
I think
but I did.
Not so much with like FIFA. I don't understand as much, but the problem with Madden is NFL signed a contract with EA. So EA is the only company that can make an NFL game with the actual players and teams.
Well,
essentially making it a monopoly, and the only way these people can play as their favorite players is through Madden.
Yeah, but
NFL, and
NFL,
that's the problem.
If their image is getting hurt by EA by their games, then they'll revoke the license.
I mean, I don't know if realistically it's not going to tank their viewership for the actual sport. Realistically,
it's
they're
gonna
still
hurt
getting
EA more than NFL.
It's going to hurt EA more than the NFL because realistically, all that's going to happen is it doesn't tank their viewership for the sport. They're also still getting the money from the people who will be still spending it on Ultimate Fighter and shit, and they got their money for the contract. NFL doesn't give a fuck. The problem is that the Players Association, who signs essentially the rights for the players, have also signed in with this contract. So no one else can take the actual current players and teams and put them into a game. There's a monopoly there, and so Well, I'm just going to list off some of the annoyances, the grievances with this game.
It exists.
First off,
number one.
Yeah. Well, no, so they added a new game mode called The Yard.
Okay.
Which just
is Adam Sandler in it?
Yes.
I don't know what the complaint is.
No, so the problem is it's a new mode with more character customization, but more microtransactions. They managed to add in a new mode with more cosmetic purchasables instead of just the pay-to-win Ultimate Team. And on top of that, so yeah, the game's buggy. Like, I watched a guy get tackled right after catching a ball.
Yeah.
He should have fallen on his face, but instead he was stuck in this weird limp animation looking like Igor, just running around still. It was fucking beautiful. It was amazing to witness. It's so broken.
We've said this before, but some glitches make the game better. In a sports game, that is not true.
No, because the thing is,
it needs to run as smoothly as possible.
Yeah, if that was online, realistically, the person who made that tackle or made
it is such a competitive scene. It is such a competitive scene that people are gonna be furious with any inconsistencies, any glitches.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter how funny I mean, some people might not take the game too seriously, but a lot of them are very serious.
No, most of them do, I'd say. I'd say most of them do.
No, there are definitely people that go just for fun, play with mates. And that's good.
Sure, enjoy
the glitches, but
that's like me with UFC. So I like the UFC games. I do not touch online or competitive in that franchise. I can't. I fucking suck at the game. I'm not good at the game.
Yeah.
I'm so bad at the game. But I love doing the career mode. Getting it down to normal or easy, not having to think about it and just knocking people out. I just enjoy the knockouts. That's literally it. I enjoy landing a really awesome fucking roundhouse kick.
It's like the fatalities in Mortal Kombat, you know?
Yeah, man. Like, I enjoy
the brutality of it.
Well, I mean, for Mortal Kombat, though, you have to get good at the game to actually be able to land that shit.
Easy. I'll do it in 1 minute.
Okay, do you know what?
Well,
we're both going to buy Mortal Kombat 11, and we're both going to fucking stream it and show how bad we are.
The last fighter game I had was Dragon Ball Fighter Z, and I rage quit that game.
Okay, I will defend. I don't know Mortal Kombat, but if they're going by how Injustice played, it's a lot more new player friendly than Dragon Ball Fighters.
Yeah, I'm gonna do a total backflip here and just say I can't. I'm total fucking garbage.
I've lost all confidence.
I'm just gonna.
But no, so anyway, so that shit happened. Big fucking whoop. But one of the other things was, so last year, Madden 19 or Madden 20, sorry, copped shit for reusing assets. Which shocked that they reuse assets. Everyone fucking knew, but like, it was a.
Who was reusing assets?
So Madden 2020,
right? Okay,
was caught reusing assets, and it wasn't just like, okay, you know, everybody knows that they're not fucking making a brand new game, but at least normally they hide it, whereas there was like literally on the stand where there was a giant banner that said Madden 19 in the 2020 game, right? And so people were already mad about that.
Simple.
Yeah, people were already mad about that, and people have now found Madden 20 labeled stuff in 2021. Yeah. Love it. Fucking love it.
That's just lazy. That's what.
I love it. I love it because it's like
a company being as lazy and doing as little work as possible to get the maximum amount of profit.
And a few people tried to argue, well, no, you could just be playing Madden 20 game. And so the guy who showed this shows the like items that have the Madden 20 logo, and then he zooms out and looks over, and there's the banner that says which was the banner that got caught with Madden 19, now says Madden 21. So they fixed that one, but forgot the rest.
It's just so simple, guys.
I love it.
It's so simple.
I love it. It's the best. It's just the best.
Who gives these guys jobs?
EA. I mean, dude. So the Madden franchise, since its birth in the late 1980s, I think it was the first Madden, like early 90s.
I don't play these shit games.
No, but like since its birth, it's earned $4 billion just from copies sold. That's just from copies sold, bro.
Yikes.
So that's just copies. Add in the microtransactions that they've been earning recently, and it'll be a lot more. A lot fucking more. Anyway, so yeah, that's Madden 21. It's now one of the lowest rated video games for user scores.
Good.
Yay!
Good.
I don't think that'll change anything unless it actually hits them monetarily.
If it's monetarily,
I mean, a few people have been showing that apparently the online is like the lobbies are a lot smaller. Like there's a lot, like the lobbies seem to load, like it takes a lot longer to join a lobby now. So they think that it's tied with a low player base. So if that's the case, good.
Yeah.
Maybe EA will fucking wake up. Talking about fucking waking up and a company that might need a monetary hit, Call of Duty Cold War. Let's get into it. Look at that segue, that clean segue. Now we're not starting with what you're thinking I'm going to start with. That's going to be the last conversation with Cold War. But this one, I didn't realize and accidentally read up on it whilst looking at the other topic for Cold War.
Yeah.
So, we got the trailer for Call of Duty Cold War. You know when we got the live action trailer showing all the different things that happened, and there's the voiceover and shit.
And then they took one out because it was controversial, and
they took a minute of the footage out.
Yeah.
And it's not that it was controversial, it's that China banned the trailer, so they took it out for everybody so that China would be happy. And yeah, now I'm not done. So what it is the minute of footage that was missing was due to there was a glimpse of the Tiananmen Square demonstrations and massacre, which was a big thing, and China for years has been trying to pretend it never happened, essentially. Really focusing on it not happening. And so instead of just deleting it for China and reposting a new trailer for China, they decided to do it for the entire world.
Okay, well, look, it's not the biggest deal in the world. I still think it's a bit of a like why.
Do you know what it is?
It's just a trailer. In the end of the day.
Here's the problems
At the end
with
of the day.
it. Forgetting that part of history is really massive because that whole demonstration was for was essentially people trying to get democracy into China, and turned into a massacre. It turned into the military coming in and shooting protesters.
Yeah.
Like, that actually can't be forgotten. That's the problem. Trying to forget that is a big fuck no, because it is a massive red stain on the Chinese party, on the Communist Party, that needs to be remembered. And it's kind of ironic that the Cold War was all about fighting communism, and now they're fucking bowing down to communism. Also ironic, the title for the trailer is Know Your History.
Except for this part. Forget this part.
Forget that part. Forget that.
Know the rest of it. You know the ones that we teach you in school?
And I think the other problem is... The other problem is last year Activision Blizzard had a massive fallout where they bent the knee for China again with the whole Blitzchung and Hearthstone tournament, where when he won, he said, he said, you know, fuck yeah, Hong Kong. Talking about the protests going on in Hong Kong, and essentially China banned him, or Activision banned him, and just the two commentators that had nothing to do with it, and due to the fact that China wasn't happy. So it's not like this is Activision's
really scary. I'm not gonna lie, it's really scary to have one country that's obviously quite corrupt.
Oh, very corrupt.
To have such influence over everyone, and not just
it's just the money. It's how much money they earn.
Countries, whole countries are being influenced by China.
It's because of how much money they have as the market is fucking nuts. If Activision were to anger the American or Western market and just have the Chinese market, they'd earn a fuck ton of money still. Like, still more than if they angered the Chinese market and kept the American market. The Chinese market is just massive. And if they can get a big dent into it, they earn millions, billions sometimes, you know, like that's why they're doing it. I don't agree with it. I think fuck you for being an absolute idiot, but you know, it's just amusing that the Cold War was about being against communism and fighting the communist parties, and they're bowing to the Communist Party. Yeah, it's just a joke. It's just a fucking joke.
Look, yeah, it's not great, but I'm just trying to stay on the less... I don't know. I'm just trying to be more like, it's not a big deal, because it is just a trailer, but I do agree with you with that part. There is a broader picture that we're missing.
And it's especially worrying because this is not the first time they've done it. If this was like, oh, they did it this time, that's it. That's a different story.
Companies have always been censoring stuff for China for years.
It's gotten a lot more prevalent though, and now they're censoring things for the entire world versus just for one country. Companies have censored things for multiple countries before, but not then taken it out for the rest of the world.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
It's
that's
only with China that it's now affecting everybody.
Yeah,
and
same with movies. Like movies, they'd make a new trailer, or they take out scenes that
they sometimes add new scenes. They add completely new scenes that did not exist
just for China.
Just for China. Yeah. Anyway, like the next story. This is also Cold War, and this is what I was talking about. The original segue was towards Call of Duty Cold War's insane chart. Now I've got a rundown for you, Mitchell. I've got a rundown. So, look, next generation is coming up, which I think should be delayed in my opinion, because we know fucking nothing of the new consoles really.
By design. I mean, we do know a lot, but we don't know price. That's all.
Well, we don't know price. We don't know actual release date. and it's apparently coming in November. Like, we don't even know the actual release date. We don't know an actual price. We really don't know
They're playing a tug of
kind
war
of
with
basic
the price.
requirements. See, I believe they are, but I also think, like, okay, now it's just getting to a point where just, like, I wonder if Corona's also now affecting this. And I'm worried that maybe they should just delay it at this point.
I don't know.
I mean, PlayStation's announced... Well,
everything
PlayStation's
about the
announced that there's going to be quite a shortage of PS5s due to what's been going on. So,
well, yeah,
like...
It's not that they're making less, it's that there's going to be a higher, influx of buyers
demand.
now. Yeah.
Well, no, but then also, the thing is, though, due to Corona, they can't increase. So I wonder, is it just smarter to wait a little bit longer? Like, honestly, I don't care if it comes out a year later. I could not care.
It doesn't really matter.
I just
either
think...
way, they're going to be releasing the same amount of consoles in the same amount of time.
Sure, but, like, I mean, we've already got a lot of their, like, games being delayed. A lot of games for Xbox Series X being delayed.
No one cares about Xbox.
Later, no, shut up, Mitchell. Shut up. But no, we're getting from both generations. Their games are being delayed, which is the worry. Yeah. Because realistically, what are we going to play? Why not wait until the games actually are available and able to come out? Like, the only...
Which ones? Do we remember the ones that come out with PS5? Like the games that
we
they
got
said were
the Miles Morales, and I'm not sure. No, I don't think so. Ratchet and Clank, I think, is next year, and there's like a few of the smaller indie titles and stuff. The mainline game, from what I remember, is the Miles Morales.
Launch titles.
Launch titles, though, so the launch window can be within 3 to 4 months.
Another sports game, NBA 2021. There you go, 2K21.
Okay, so we've got
Destiny Beyond Light. Shout out to Destiny.
Third party.
Miles Morales, you're right. Deathloop, Madden NFL 21.
No, Deathloop's been delayed.
Okay, I'm just reading what's on the list. Dirt 5, which is a racing game. Vampires the Masquerade Bloodlines 2.
Got delayed.
Observer System Redux.
Don't know.
Jet the Far Shore. Bug Snacks. Rainbow Six Siege, apparently that's been out for years. Okay. Godfall.
So it's probably getting an upgrade.
Yeah.
Godfall, I'm pretty sure, though, is still classified as a... it hasn't even been given an actual release date, so we don't know too much, and apparently they might be delaying that.
Well, these are all apparently title release, like straight off the bat.
Yeah, so I'm telling you, 3 of them are already incorrect because they were already announced to be delayed.
Yeah, yeah. So Godfall has been confirmed as a launch title, and it has a release window of holiday 2020, just like the PS5. So it seems, if it hasn't been delayed, that'll be out. Godfall, Outriders.
Yeah, but that holiday 2020 is like, but yeah, it is literally it could be a month after release.
Outriders and Assassin's Creed Valhalla. They're the launch titles apparently.
Yeah, so a lot of these are cross-gen games.
Yeah.
So you know what you see what I mean?
Yeah.
Why not wait until you actually have the games to back it? But anyway, that's.
But at the same time, if you're thinking on a business perspective, I don't know. You don't want to split up the money between games, I guess, too much. If you're thinking from a business perspective.
Well, what do you mean by that? Because think of it this way, yeah. From a business perspective, they sell the console. The console isn't where they make their money. The console is not where they make the money. It's the games. Yeah. So realistically, they're going to sell the console at a loss for their quarterly. It's going to look like they've sold at a loss. They're going to, business-wise, it's not a great boom either because they don't have the games to push to gain back the loss. Like, you know what I mean? I don't know. To me, it seems like it might even be the smarter decision. I'm not saying it is. I also think that if people get pissy about it being delayed, if it does, like, come off it. Like, if they think it's the better option, fucking delay it. I just don't want them to jump the gun and just release it anyway. You know?
I think the system is good to go. I don't see any red flags.
The system's good to go, but the software, the games aren't.
Yeah, the games.
That's the problem.
Unpredictable at the moment.
What good is a system without something to play on it?
Yeah, I do believe there will be some games, but there won't be a number like they initially thought.
No,
there'll be like half the games.
We'll have Miles Morales. We'll definitely have Miles Morales. I do not think that'll be delayed because a lot of the work for that game was done for them with the previous Spider-Man game.
Yeah.
So we'll have games like that, but I just think it might be smarter to wait until next year when you have like more than one first-party title to come out.
Yeah.
Or one AAA first-party title to come out. Versus a lot of
or you could just get Fall Guys and play it on 4K. Hey, there you go. Your little jelly bean will look really nice. You can see the despair in the eyes.
Anyway,
destroy your enemies.
Anyway, let's continue with the Call of Duty Cold War thing. So, look, the trailer came out for the actual story. I actually thought it looked really cool. I was really hyped on it. It looked really interesting. Cold War.
Oh, sure, yeah.
I said let's go back to Cold War.
Okay.
The trailer came out. It looked really cool. I really enjoyed it. I thought it looked quite interesting. I'm actually kind of hyped on the story. I'm quite hyped on the campaign. Like, I really loved Modern Warfare's campaign, so I'm really hyped on this one too.
They've been going back to their roots, haven't they, in the last few games? Starting with
just seems like
World War II.
I don't think World War II was that great for a campaign.
No, but it's where they started to get better and go back. It was miles above Advanced Warfare, Infinite Warfare, whatever those ones were.
Sure,
when they started going back to World War II and getting back to their roots, they started slowly with every release afterwards.
There was nothing.
Was Black Ops 4 afterwards?
I thought Black Ops... It went... Yeah, didn't it go this Black Ops 4...
I thought it was Black Ops 4, then World War II, and then it went to...
Oh, maybe it was then Modern Warfare?
Modern Warfare.
Was it? Okay. Maybe it was.
Yeah.
No, I think you're right. Was World War II Treyarch? I mean, no. Was World War II Sledgehammer, yeah?
Yeah.
And so then it's... Wait... No, it was Black Ops 4 then Modern Warfare, because they had Blackout, which was their first Battle Royale, and then Warzone. So no, it was Black Ops 4 then Warzone. You are correct.
You mean World War II?
No, I'm saying Black Ops then Modern Warfare.
Okay.
Black
I'm
Ops
just
4
gonna
then
leave it.
Modern
Either way, I think they've gone in the right step since World War II. And I think this one will be even better than Warzone. And hopefully, as I know Andrew also wants, it's not going to be a fucking 200 gigabyte game.
Please.
Just compress it. Compress your files, guys. I play MMOs, and they're smaller. They're smaller than Call of Duty. It shouldn't be that way. MMOs are huge.
Anyway, so it looked really cool. Look, the purchases are just a fucking nightmare.
Yeah, you told me about this, and it's really...
They're just a nightmare.
It's just greedy.
With next gen as well, like, one of the big questions is upgrades to the next gen, because backwards compatibility is a big sales pitch for both of these gens.
Yep.
Being able to play PS4 games on the PS5, or for Xbox Series X, you can play from the Xbox 360, Xbox One, and the Series X.
Yeah.
And Series X, in order to sell their game, essentially said, we do not allow to charge for an upgrade. We don't want to charge for an upgrade to this generation. We're going to try and get all the companies to do it. Now, a lot of companies were really on board with this. One of the big ones being CD Projekt Red, who essentially said, yeah, no, you're not paying on any console for an upgrade. And you just $60, bam, you own the game on both consoles.
Yeah.
You get the upgraded version no matter what.
Once
the PS5 comes out, you can re-download the game with a patch for the 4K or whatever visuals and amazing stuff that the PS5 version will give.
Yeah.
Which is great. And then another company, which I totally forgot about, and to them, Ubisoft also said this for Valhalla. They said, no, free upgrade.
Awesome. Thanks, Ubi.
That's great. Good work, Ubi. You're actually doing something great for consumers. And I'm glad you're actually fixing your stuff as well.
Yep.
But anyway, there were a few developers that kind of didn't agree with that. So we had like 2K, NBA 2K21. You were talking about that game coming out. Well, you have to spend $70 for the upgrade to PS5.
So an extra $10.
Xbox Series X, an extra $10.
Yeah.
To be able to upgrade it, because obviously this game will be coming out before the actual console comes out, so you can't just buy the PS5 version. And I believe they were trying to push the PS5 version to be $70. Bit shitty. Well, COD's now going down a very confusing route, and it's on purpose. I'm just going to say this. It's confusing for a reason. They're not just doing it because they're idiots. It is this is what they want. Now, I'm going to tell you, I'm going to list what they're selling. So, this is these are the examples. Physical standard editions for COD are $60 for PS4 and Xbox Series X. Xbox One, sorry. So, if you have the physical standard for PS4, you can play it on PS5. However, you will not have the upgraded frame rate or the upgraded visuals that the PS5 version does. If you want that, you can upgrade it for an extra money. They haven't announced how much it will be for the optional upgrade if you just buy the standard edition. My assumption is going to be $15 or $20. It's going to be a bit more. But now, here's the next thing. Here's the weirder part. Xbox One. If you buy the Xbox One version, the standard, it cannot be upgraded on the Series X, but you can still play it. You just can't have the choice to upgrade it. Weird.
What?
I wonder why, because Xbox doesn't want to charge them. I'm not done. Now, if you go to if you buy the physical, you cannot access an upgraded version of the game if you buy a discless console. So if you plan on buying the discless console, you've got to buy it digitally, which in my opinion makes sense.
Yeah,
but
of course. I mean, you can't play it.
I mean, it's just more of a bit of a shit one that I bought it on a disc because, like, let's say for example, on PlayStation. Well, no, think of it this way: at JB Hi-Fi,
sure, for us, yes,
it's $30 cheaper.
Yep.
To buy it physically than to buy it on the PlayStation Store.
Yeah.
So if I'm planning on buying the discless console because it's cheaper, but I also want to buy a cheaper version of Call of Duty, I can't. I essentially can't.
Yeah. Well,
which I think sucks.
People always know that digital copies are more expensive. So if they're going to get a digital thing, they should have planned for that.
On Steam, no.
No, but that's different. We're talking about consoles here. If you're going to buy
a
digital console, the new generation...
That's what I'm saying. That it's a shame that they don't add something like a code where you can just enter the code in, done, etc. Right. It's just a shame. I agree with it. I understand why it is, but it's just a shame. On top of that, though, if you buy the next gen versions, the physical standard edition for next gen, for Xbox Series X, it can be played on the Xbox One. But if you buy the PS5 version, you can't play it on the PS4.
Right.
Weird again.
Yeah.
And then there's the cross-gen version.
Yeah, I know. This is the one you've wanted to talk about. Now, the
cross-gen version... Well, no. The cross-gen version gives you the option to play on both. That's great. You get to play both. Fan-fucking-tastic. I don't have a problem with that.
But...
Well, wait. So, for the standard editions for the PS4 and Xbox One, it's $60. For the cross-gen, it's $70. Essentially, so if you want to play on both, you have to charge an extra $10. Okay, fine. I'll just pay $60 for the next gen version. I'll wait till next gen. Nope. $70 for the standard next gen anyway.
Makes no sense. Makes 0 sense.
Makes no sense. So essentially they are charging an extra $10 for a fucking visual. That's all it is. It is a visual pack. It's realistically, you're charging for a download file.
They're exploiting the hype of the new generation.
Not even the hype of the new generation. What they're doing, and I told you this over the phone yesterday, what they are planning on doing is they're getting you used to paying $70 now, so that you don't pay it. You don't feel bad about paying it once it just sticks to next generation.
Yeah, and that's bad for us because us Australians are paying minimum $70 most of the time.
Well, I mean, when you do the conversion of US
that's
dollars,
the cheapest.
It's kind of the same price.
Yeah, I'm saying, but we're technically more expensive. But
yeah, but we also earn more money hourly compared to those fuckers. The poor US motherfuckers. Yeah, man. Yeah. Our pay is very good as Australians. We're very lucky with our pay, compared to a lot of countries.
Yeah, but I don't like the idea of it increasing. I think where the average of games is going to be like $90.
Here's the thing. I mentioned to you, right? I don't care about paying extra for a game. On one condition, take out your microtransactions.
Yeah.
I'll pay an extra $30 for your games. I will pay $100 per game happily if that means no microtransactions. Hell, I sometimes do when I buy digitally on the PlayStation Store. I'll pay $99.95 when I know there's no microtransactions for the game. Fucking happily. Don't give a shit.
Yeah.
Because then you can justify the upgrade in price. You can justify it. For games like Cyberpunk, I'd happily pay for a next-gen upgrade. For games like Valhalla, if there's no microtransactions, which we'll have to wait and see, I'd happily pay for a next-gen upgrade. For single-player games, I'm happy to do it, because they don't tend to shove microtransactions into the game. Not all of them, but most of the time.
Yeah.
But for a game like Call of Duty, where it has a battle pass, and it used to sell loot boxes, and it has multiple other microtransactions, I'm not fucking okay with spending the extra money. Do not try and argue that it's due to games being more expensive to make. Game companies have not been earning as much money ever compared to what they are now because of microtransactions. So it is a weak argument.
What's their justification? Oh, we got caught out on our not paying our staff, so now we actually have to pay them.
Yeah.
So we're making less money, but I'm still getting a bonus of like $19 million.
It's.
But that was at 20 last year, so you can feel bad for me, right?
Well, I mean, he's not even getting his bonus hasn't even been cut. His pay hasn't been cut. People got angry about the owner's pay, but
is this like Ubisoft or?
No, this is Activision.
Activision, sorry, yep.
Yeah.
All right.
But yeah, so that's
the question on everyone's mind, and I know you've been wondering about this, guys. When is Fortnite coming back to iOS? What's happening? I don't have the answer, and I'm just as scared as you. I need to build my platforms once again on my little phone that is not even iPhone. I will buy an iPhone for Fortnite. It's a tragedy. It's a tragedy. We've lost a soldier.
By the way, we're not mentioning the Fortnite stuff because I can't be bothered fucking going into it.
I don't even know what's happening. I don't think anything's really happening.
Essentially, yet. So Apple went fuck you to Epic after they banned Fortnite, and then they also banned Unreal Engine from their store as well, which essentially means developers that have nothing to do with this that paid for Unreal Engine
have now been dragged into this.
And
woo! Yeah.
And then so then the court actually went, nah, you can't do that. You gotta let Unreal Engine still go. And so Apple has been forced by the court to allow Unreal Engine to still be on the store. However,
but
Fortnite tried to be like, well, Epic was like, hey, Fortnite needs to be back then. And they're like, nah, you fucked up. You did violate the terms of service. So until this thing's done, you ain't getting that back on the software. And so Epic was like, well, shit.
Yeah.
This isn't what we wanted. Also, like emails, Apple like released emails showing that Epic had asked for a better percentage for just them.
Yeah.
Not just like it wasn't for everybody else. It
Just
was like they're claiming it was like, hey, do you want to cut a deal with us?
If
Fucking shock and horror there.
If you're missing your Fortnite like me, and you have a PlayStation, PUBG is now free. So if you want to cross over to the direct rival, well, slowly dying rival of Fortnite, you can head over to PUBG and start shooting there. Can't build though. So you're gonna have to actually learn how to shoot. So have fun. Have fun.
Joke, man. It's just a fucking joke. Anyway, let's go on to another bit of a segment.
Yeah.
This one's a bit of a shame, man. This one's a bit of a shame.
Everything seems to be a bloody shame with the gaming industry. Don't know what that accent was.
Yeah, I don't know what that was either, but we'll go with it. We'll roll with it, man.
Shows a hybrid. Yeah.
Frogwares Studios.
Who's that?
They're an indie developer. You know, like the Sherlock Holmes games
on the phone.
No. On like PS4, there was like a Sherlock Holmes, like something detective, True Detective or whatever. They make some indie Sherlock Holmes games, and also their most recent game was The Sinking City, which was a Lovecraftian video game.
Sure.
So based around all of Lovecraft's Cthulhu goodness. Anyway, so they got fucked. They got fucked by their distributor.
What happened?
And I'm gonna go into it quickly. There's a lot to fucking read that I've written down. So essentially, the game Sinking City out of nowhere was taken down from Steam and other stores, just gone. And so I'm just gonna read their quote. Since the release of The Sinking City on June 27th, 2019, we've been involved in legal battles with Big Ben Interactive, our distributor, over the title. No, sorry, over the release of The Sinking City. Oh, sorry, I've fucking gone retard. Big Ben Interactive over the title. In 2017, we signed the Sinking City contract as a licensing agreement with Big Ben 2 years after the start of the production. In exchange for financial contribution to the development, we gave them the right to sell and commercialize the game on 4 platforms: Xbox One, PS4, Steam, and later on, the Epic Game Store. Sure. The intellectual property would still belong to Frogwares, which has always been the only producer and owner of all of its games, including The Sinking City. I've cut out a little bit here, but essentially during the production, Big Ben Interactive was hundreds and hundreds of days behind in payments in total. Each sum due on average being 40 days late. While our milestones were always on time and approved by the licensee. So essentially they had these milestones and deadlines they had to meet, and they'd get a sum for it. They'd get some money, they'd get paid by the licensee for it, by Big Ben. Anyway, so we had to issue formal notices multiple times so that we were able to receive the money that was owed to us. So and now this is just a summarized version quickly. I didn't, again, because otherwise I'd be fucking reading giant, like 6 paragraphs. So Big Ben Interactive then bought out a competing developer who was working on a different Lovecraftian game and dictated that Frogware would give them their source code for The Sinking City for the new Lovecraftian game, which they have no right to do. Anyway, once again, Big Ben doesn't own the IP.
No.
They are a licensee. They sell the game, not develop and co-create it. After Frogware refused to comply, they stopped receiving financial contributions for over 4 months. And now it's turned into them they've also apparently, on like the actual hard copies of the game, so the digital art for it has Frogware as the like big developer and then Big Ben as just the producer title. Yeah. On the whereas the physical versions of the game which I'll show on the video, but I'll edit it in. On the physical versions of the game, on the cases, there is no Frogware, and it just says Big Ben Interactive. So, yeah. On top of that, Big Ben Interactive has also made other things tied with this series. So there's a Sinking City board game, which Frogwares Interactive had no clue about. Nothing. Had
this
no
is such
fucking
a
clue about.
fucking
I'm not done. So they had no clue about it. But on the box of the board game, Frogware Interactive's logo is on there, as if saying they were a part of this. They had nothing to do with it. On top of that,
I cannot believe this. This is so juicy, and I'm so pissed off by Frogware.
Wait, do you mean you're pissed off for or with?
For.
Okay, I was like, why are you pissed off with them? They're innocent. Like, no.
Take their money.
Anyway, so on top of that, there was also like other things. That part of the reason why they weren't getting the money was due to the fact that certain consoles, which they didn't name, weren't paying Big Ben on time. They were the ones that were late. Which Frogware went, well, okay, but how come they're paying us for our other games that aren't licensed with you on time?
Yeah.
Seems a bit fucking sus.
There's some inconsistencies there.
Yeah. And just shit like that. Anyway, so yeah, it's just fucked. It's fucked.
That is
absolute shady shit.
And
Big
the
Ben Interactive has cancelled their contract without any formal notice, which they are supposed to do. And so like it's just
you
really
can't
fucking
do that.
shit. So
you literally cannot do what Big Ben are doing.
Well, I think that at least the cancelling the contract, they could. There was like a written reason as to why they could, but they still owe a fuck ton of money, and they shouldn't be trying to license a product that they don't own when it's not a part of their contract.
How
it's really fucking shady.
How petty and greedy can you be? Like
very apparently very.
That is like that's legit. That is the first time I've heard about this stuff, and that is disgusting. It's absolutely disgusting. I was sitting there feeling so angry.
You feel bad for them, man. It was just shit luck, man, to be signed with such a shit fucking company.
But the fact that nothing has happened to help them, you know? Why do companies think they can get away with this shit? You know, is the system broken? I don't know. I don't fucking know. But you should not be able to do that to other companies.
It's really fucked as well, because you go...
And there's contracts for a reason. And if you break the contract, you should give what you intend plus more.
I wonder how much...
If you break the contract, you give them more. They should get
I wonder what's written. We haven't seen like the fully written contract, I don't think. So I wonder what is
maybe we're not getting the full story, but hearing just that, I'm furious.
I mean, even if it's in the contract, let's say, legally they had the right. No, let's just argue that they did have the right. Morally, you're fucked.
Yeah,
you are
so
bankrupt, fucked, tons. Like you're dicks.
You've
literally think that's okay.
You have the fucking audacity to not pay them, to not want to really be working with them, but then take their name and their product and put it into another spin-off of that franchise, seeing the board game.
Well, it's not that franchise. It's just it's just another like Lovecraftian style game. Like it's just it's like saying making another fantasy game and then asking for someone else's for Bethesda's
but then they plant
Skyrim
on the frog. Frog?
Well, that was the board game. The Frogwares thing was they made a board game tied with the game that Frogwares had no knowledge of.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Yeah. Like they're using stuff from the game to make money. They're saying that they're a part of it, but they're not. How do you have? I don't get it.
Yeah, man, it's fucked. It's just
it's borderline like just not fraud. Is there a better word? Like it's just straight up lies. Is what it is.
I don't think there is a better word, really.
It's false advertisement, is what it is.
It is definitely that.
And that's illegal. So go fuck yourself.
Go fuck yourself, man. It's disgusting. It's
not the
just
real Big
really
Ben. I think you're great, and I hope your construction's going well. But the company, go fuck yourself.
So it's Big Ben Interactive / Nacon. I just didn't want to ride in the entire thing because it was a fucking pain while I was trying to speed
That's fine. That's fine.
Anyway, let's have some quick fun news, and then I do want to talk about one
Please.
game that I've been playing that was new.
Give me some positive news.
Yes, let's do it.
Is Fortnite back?
No. But I mean, that's positive news in for a lot of people.
Oh, little Timmy's not happy, but all right, let's keep going.
Fuck off, little Timmy. Well, anyway, fun news. Call of Duty Warzone cheating software was removed.
Oh, I was talking to you about
class action lawsuit.
Yeah.
Well, I knew about it, but I didn't realize that's what you were talking about, and so I was confused when we had the conversation. But I did know about the lawsuit. So, for those of you who don't know, one of the big cheating engines was essentially hit with a class action lawsuit. Essentially, Activision went, "If you don't stop this, we will sue you."
And
they were like, and so they just shut down the thing and went, "Hey guys, so we will no longer be running or selling a cheating software for Call of Duty Warzone. All the other games we still will. Just not fun.
Come on, guys, we're not totally bad. Like, come on.
We're only stopping now that we've been threatened to lose literally our entire income and become homeless, which I think they should anyway, in my opinion." But anyway, then a lot of the people who purchased it for Warzone now want their money back.
Yep, and that is the funniest thing in the world. And my personal opinion on that, fuck them.
See, here's the thing. I'm weirdly in two minds with it. I don't think that they should get their money back, but I also don't think that the company that sold it should keep their money. See, I'm like, I kind of want them to get their money back so that the company that makes these cheat softwares loses a fuck ton of money, because realistically they're the ones making the software. They're the ones making the engine.
Well, unfortunately, I don't think that's going to happen unless they did get sued and they took the money that they earned from
these cheats. But that's why I'm saying, like, I wish, I kind of wish they did.
I want to make sure these people that buy cheats, fuck off. Like, you're the idiots that buy cheats and need an ego boost by thinking you're good at the game by cheating. Right? You're ruining the game,
man. You're lying to yourself.
Yeah, you're ruining the game for everyone else and not giving anyone a chance and acting like you're good. You know, you spent the money on this. If it gets caught out, you knew the dangers. You knew it was against terms and services.
It's like, I know I'm bad. I own that I'm shit.
No, but
whenever we play Crucible and Destiny, I just go, "Here we go, guys. Ready for a 6-loss streak. Let's go." I just own that I'm trash. And then when you play well, when you manage to, you feel like a god. You go, "Fuck, see, look how good I am now."
But the thing is, they're running the gauntlet. They know that when they buy the cheats. They know it's against, and they know they run a risk of getting it banned or getting their account banned and getting it taken down. So when this happens, and then you go, "I want a refund. We expect a refund because you're not giving it to us anymore, or we can't use it." What? Who do you think you are?
The other problem is, like, it ruins stuff for me, for example. I can't play on a mouse and keyboard. I enjoy playing with a controller.
I can. I just put on my hacks.
Pardon?
Nothing. I didn't say that.
Anyway, I prefer using a controller.
Yeah, same.
Okay? I prefer it for shooters as well. I just can't fucking do it. I'm shit. I'm trash. I'm not used to it. And so the good thing about Modern Warfare was the cross-platform. So I could play, when I had my controller plugged in, it would 9 times out of 10 connect me with only console players.
Oh.
So I wasn't having to worry about fighting mouse and keyboard.
Right.
They were matching me with only console players, people or PC players that were using controllers only.
Yeah.
And so I was on a even playing field whilst playing on my PC and not having to move to my room and play it on my PS4 whenever I want to play a shooter. I can just keep it on my PC with that. And that was really awesome. That was what I loved about the multiplayer, is I didn't have to worry about the fact that I owned it on PC. I did not have to worry about it. I owned it on PC, but I could play with everyone else. But because of the cheaters, people then turned their cross-platform off for PC.
Yeah.
Because there were so many cheaters on PC. Because that's the easiest way to cheat, is through PC. So I got fucked because I can now no longer play with console. I couldn't play with as many console players or controller players due to all the cheaters. And that was also because of thanks to Warzone coming into play, because it was free to play.
Yep.
So people were just using the free accounts, cheating on it, and then people would just turn off their cross-platform because they played Warzone. But if they go into multiplayer, they don't realize that it turns it off for there as well, which then fucked me over.
Yep.
And so, yeah, I think I'm just happy. I'm happy.
I'm happy that they got fucked over. And Bungie, learn from this, please.
Well, I mean, I don't learn from Activision that much, because Activision doesn't really do a lot to fight cheating.
I'm just saying, if Call of Duty's bringing action in...
I mean, they don't have an anti-cheating software in their game. They don't really have a good review system either.
No, I know, no games really do. They've taken action though, and hopefully there's less on Call of Duty. And I would just encourage that Destiny follows the same route.
Well, I mean, it's only one of the cheating softwares. It's not like this cheating software. I think that needs to be put into place. But I'm happy that they started, because this needed to happen.
Yeah, there needs to be a real crackdown, because it's really becoming more prevalent nowadays.
Yeah.
That's a word I don't use often.
On PC. It's very big on PC. That's why you never notice it. That's why you've noticed more cheaters on Destiny and stuff, man.
Because I'm playing on PC.
Because you're playing on PC. And also, Destiny 2 is now free to play.
Yeah.
If you're playing casual multiplayer, they can play it free to play and just fuck you up cheating on their free to play accounts on multiplayer, because there's no leveling differences. The only times you won't notice it is if you're playing on an actual where there's like levels advantages. And even then,
you can. Like, people cheat in the, like, end game PvP events. Like Trials of Osiris and stuff like that. And Survival and all that. It's massive. There are so many cheaters on there.
I do want to bring up the conversation, the thing I told you about. My cousin Josh is just very good at video games.
I can't believe I haven't played with him.
He got flagged. He got reported twice for cheating by 2 people who were salty at how good he was. I love that.
He's a freak.
He's fucking amazing. He's so talented at the game. Like, I played a game of so I think it was just elimination, and literally we all both me and the rando got eliminated. Just Josh. And he fucking, in the span of 5 seconds, took all 3 of them out. He grenaded one, last hoped another one, turned around, and meleeed the third. It was literally all in the span of one jump at a 360, or like a 180 movement. It was amazing. It was beautiful. One of the best things I've ever witnessed.
Yep.
It's just like, how? Fuck you.
Yeah.
I'll get him to start posting some of his videos that he sends me on Snapchat of just him getting some fucking nuts kill on the podcast messenger, because it's fucking great, some of his kills.
I'd love to see some of the stuff, obviously.
Oh, he's honestly
I'm currently doing babysitting duties at the moment on Destiny. I'm getting some mates of mine into Destiny and leveling them up and taking them through all the old stuff, so I'm taking a break from all the end game stuff at the moment.
Another Warzone cheating recap. There was a big streamer. I don't know his name because I don't care.
Awesome.
He's not big. He's just a Twitch streamer that he was still earning money. He had a viewer base.
You told me
about how good he was and saying, I don't cheat. I'm just good with my recoil. And while he's saying this, right in front of the screen capturing is his task manager, and behind that is the cheat engine.
Yeah.
You up now?
Just because I have a good recoil, I'm good at the game. Is it the first time you see someone good at the game? Now I'm talking with you guys because you really, I play and I look at the chat and I be like, what's going on? You know what I'm saying? What's going on, guys? Have you ever seen anyone playing like me? Like seriously?
to show you guys. It's fucking hilarious because it's just a guy going, "I'm just great.
I'm so good at the game, bro. Don't you dare question me. Are you saying I cheat? No, mate. I just spend a lot of hours on this game, alright? It takes dedication and hard work.
I'm innocent. I didn't murder them whilst holding the bloody knife. You know, it's just beautiful. It's great. It's genius.
Anyways,
I loved it. I loved seeing that. Anyway, let's quickly. I want to talk about before we wrap up. I do want to talk about the game I've been playing this week. Because it is new. It is a new game.
Yeah, what game?
And when I say new, I mean it's like I think I'm a week and a bit behind.
Yeah.
Actually,
what game?
Talking about it. Oh shit, I'm actually like 2 weeks behind. But Mortal Shell.
You did mention this to me a little bit, I think.
A little bit. I got it yesterday. Just because I like Dark Souls, and every time a Souls-like game comes out, I get excited because I'm like, oh, more Dark Souls, yay! And every time so far, I get let down. I have not enjoyed a single Souls-like spin-off, at least from memory. I'm sure if someone brought one up and I went, oh yeah, actually no, I did like that. I'm sure there might be one, but from memory, I have not enjoyed a single non-From Software Souls-esque game.
Yeah.
Like, you know, and I've played a lot of them. I played Neo, hated it. I played Neo 2, hated it. I played The Surge, hated it. I played The Surge 2, hated it. Like, I played Code Vein. Guess what? I fucking hated it. And it's weird saying that because you'd think if I love a franchise and a style of game so much, I'd love games that try and work in their vein. And I don't know what it is that they just miss. Sometimes it's like the combat doesn't feel as smooth or as responsive. Sometimes it's just the way the story and the structure of the game works fucking sucks. Like, Dark Souls doesn't tell you much. But for me, every time I play a Souls game, where I need to go, for some reason, I don't know if it's just because I play Souls games, it makes sense. It fucking makes sense. Every time I play a spin-off, it doesn't. Are you glazing over?
Yeah. I'm just looking straight at the camera. Yeah. This is my life.
It just doesn't make sense to me sometimes. Like, it's like, I have no clue where I'm meant to go. Anyway, let's go to Mortal Shell. So that's
what do you think of it?
Okay, so I'm a little bit in now. I'm kind of like, I've done the first kind of boss that you have to do. And I'm kind of currently in the means of getting all the equipment that's at your disposal for the game. So the way this game works, unlike other Souls-like games, I forgot to mention Lords of the Fallen. Also played it, also hated it. But unlike other Souls-like games...
I had that game, actually.
Shit. Anyway, unlike other Souls-like games, or just unlike Dark Souls, similar to Lords of the Fallen, though, there are classes in this game. Versus... gets rid of sometimes the confusing stats board that is Dark Souls, where it's like, okay, this weapon scales for this ability, like this stat, so I need to focus on this stat and this stat to be able to get the best out of this weapon. Confusion. It gets rid of that, essentially. You can play any class with any weapon. The class just kind of changes maybe your overall health, your stamina, and your resolve, which is kind of like your skill slots.
Okay.
And one might have some better like defensive abilities. So that's the first thing. I currently only have 2 of the classes unlocked right now, and I'm currently trying to find the other classes. There's also then only like 4 weapons, I think it is, in the game. So there's like your long sword, which is actually a 2-handed sword anyway. Then there's like a giant 2-handed sword, a staff, and a hammer and chisel, which is like your your dual wielding weapon, your fast weapon.
Cool.
I've only got the staff and the long sword at the moment. But the way you unlock things, I think, is actually quite interesting. So the character itself, the mortal shell, is the class. That's what the class is called. They're essentially a shell. Your being, the best way I could describe how you look is, this is going to be a weird fucking visual. Imagine Slender Man.
Done.
But if Slender Man looked weirdly smooth, like alieny, like scaly, skinny, like skin, and had just come out of the Matrix, like Keanu Reeves looked when he first came out of the Matrix. You know, when he comes out and he's got all the red goo and he's slimy and just pasty white. Imagine if Slender Man just came out of the Matrix. That's what you look like.
Yeah, I'm lost, but continue going on. Run with it.
And then what you do is you possess these shells, and these shells are classes. And so the way the game works is you possess these shells, and the shells actually give you your health and your stats, like I said, because your character is essentially one shot without the shell. You're fucking weak. You get hit once, you're dead. From any weapon and any enemy, you're dead. And there's no block in this game, or no dedicated, like, specific hold down a button to block. What they have instead is you have this harden ability, where essentially your whole body turns to stone, which is that's your defensive, one of your defensive abilities. You also have a parry as well. The combat in this is probably the best combat from a Souls-like game.
Yeah.
I because they change enough to not really make it very Souls-like.
Yeah.
In the like having to essentially learn how to kind of progress against enemies in this game is so much different to fighting enemies in Dark Souls.
Yeah.
This game you have to, you fucking asshole. This game you have to really kind of learn how to kind of combo attacking whilst also hardening your, like, turning into stone at the same time. So like you can keep attacking, and then when an enemy goes to hit you, you click the L2, you can attack, literally harden in the middle of an attack, get hit, you unharden, and then you continue your swing. It's shit like that. You got to learn to combo it together and kind of make it more fluid. It's really cool. It's a really neat idea. Now, the harden obviously has its limits. You can't just keep pressing the ability. There's a little time, like, countdown, cooldown timer. Not very long. It's not a long cooldown. It's like, 4 or 5 seconds. But my problem with this game is the problem that I mentioned at the very end that I have with every Souls-like game. I have no clue what the fuck I'm doing. I have stumbled into everything that I need to do by accident. Sheer fucking accident.
Well, I mean, that's nice.
And I don't even know if what I'm doing is correct. I could not tell you. I cannot fucking tell you. And I don't like Googling this stuff because I try to do it by myself.
Yeah.
But I'm getting to the point where I'm about to fucking Google what I need to do. Because essentially, how they lay out this game is you do the first boss, you die, which you're supposed to die. So then you can wake up in a new area and get your first...
Yeah, like Bloodborne.
Kind of like Bloodborne. And then you're in what is kind of your base area.
Yeah.
But not like Bloodborne, where like you wake up in the Hunter's Dream. You wake up in an enemy infested area and you have to traverse into your new home base, the new Firelink Shrine. Which, this game is so Dark Souls in so many ways. It has the load screens with items and descriptions of items. The main story might as well be the story of Dark Souls, in the sense of, in Dark Souls you have to collect these Lord vessels to complete final task. In this game you have to collect, I forget the name of it, but it's essentially like a heart in order to complete the final task. So it's literally you have to go defeat these specific bosses that have these item, etc. Right. It's literally fucking insane. you have a firekeeper, which is normally, or like you have a person you have to specifically talk to level yourself up, which again, Dark Souls.
Yeah.
All of that shit.
So what's your overall thinking of the game?
So I don't know. I can't give it to you because while I love the combat, like I love the combat so much. I think it's so fun to play the game.
But it's confusing to play the game.
I have so many fucking problems of I don't even know if what I'm doing is correct. Like one, so like there seems to be 3 like areas that you need to go to that will then take you to those big bosses.
Yeah.
That you need to fight.
Pardon me.
The enemies there deal so much, like take so much damage that my weapons aren't even close to being able to do anything. However, I have to find a specific item to be able to upgrade my weapons.
Yeah.
And I have no clue where to find them. I just stumbled on one by accident at one point. And I'm also in the process of trying to find all the armor pieces and weapons, which you get given when you go to the hub base. There are like these shadowy figures that are there, that, like essentially are meant to be what would end up becoming where your shell goes or where your weapon goes. And when you touch it, it's like touching an astral projection, and it shows you like through kind of small little cutscenes of little spots that might be definable that you should to go to find the item. And like, for example, in order to get the weapons, you have to do a boss fight with the guy that killed you at the beginning, the first boss that killed you, and he has that weapon equipped, and so you have to fight him. Which, by the way, those fights suck a dick. You deal no damage to the fucker. Like, so I got the staff by sheer. I felt like I cheesed him. It was essentially wait till he uses, because he can harden as well. He's like you. He can also use the harden ability. Wait till he does the harden. Don't hit him. Step back until he like initiates the attack. Then just stab him from afar. Then go in for another attack and harden your ability quickly. So then he hits you. He gets stunned for a second, so your attack lands. And it was just that rinse and repeat.
So would you recommend this game to people?
I'd have to come back. I'd have to come back once I've done more of the game.
So inconclusive. I'm glad we spent all that time talking for an
inconclusive. No, I think it's something to be spoken about though, like because it's a great game, but the problem is those flaws. If you don't like confusing objectives, like objectives that are not obvious to you, you're not gonna like this game. Because I'm struggling with it. That's my biggest struggle is I love playing the game, but I have no clue what I'm doing to get to the areas to be able to progress. I don't feel like I'm progressing naturally.
Yeah, sure.
And the fact that like your leveling is based around leveling up perks for your shell versus like upgrading damage or upgrading strength and health, instead of it being it feels like I'm not really progressing.
Yeah.
And like the only way to progress my actual damage is to find these weapon enhancements, which I have no clue where they are.
All right. Like, so, good game, bit confusing.
Good game, but fucking confusing. So go in with that knowledge. But I mean, like, it's cheap, man. Like, it's cheap. It's $40. It's on Epic.
Epic. Okay.
I think this is really weird, right? I bought it on Epic, $45. I was like, sweet. I hop on PlayStation Store. It's $40 on PlayStation. So I was like, what's happening here? I've been gypped.
You've been gypped. You've been fucking gypped.
No, I think it's a cheap game considering the price, like $40.
No, that's not much.
Cheap as. That's a decent price for this game considering that there is a lot to do so far. Like I've put quite a number of hours in. I just wish that it was a bit more apparent as to what I needed to do.
Well, maybe people would like to check it out. Maybe they can let us know what their opinions are. So
let's go.
Let's move on from here.
I think that's it.
Yeah. All right.
Well, we've hit like a clean nearly hour and a half. I think.
Yeah. Did you want to hear my controversial opinion?
I mean,
I'll throw it out there. We don't need to discuss it.
I think it needs to have a discussion though, because
that doesn't need a discussion. People in the comments, they can comment on it, and we can mention it later if they want. What? Let the people have their word. But I feel like I missed out. I wanted to talk.
Okay, you do it.
When everyone was there. No. So my controversial opinion, when everyone else was doing it, because I wasn't there last week, is I just don't think that Last of Us 2 looked that good. I will say, I think some of the scenery and everything looks really nice and really pretty. But the way people were talking it up and the realism of its characters and the looks of it, I didn't buy it. They looked really, like, rubbery. Oh, they looked kind of elastic. They didn't look real to me, the people. I just couldn't buy it. I couldn't buy it.
See, I find that really amusing because I think my view of the graphics is like the total opposite, where I think the graphics objectively are phenomenal. However, subjectively, the coloring of the game and the
the coloring is really weird, right?
I don't like it. Like I was looking back at Last of Us Part 1, like the first Last of Us, and everyone going, "Oh my god, this game's amazing!" back in the day, and it pushed the PlayStation 3. And I look at it and I go, "This game's aged really poorly due to its its art design of the coloring. It just looks so grey and red and bland." And so I almost wonder if it's not so much you dislike the graphics, but more the art style of the game.
Well, I mean, that goes towards I don't think that it looks that good because it's not that.
There's graphical prowess and like graphical advancements versus an art style. Like you look at a game like Breath of the Wild, that game looks very beautiful, but graphically it's not that taxing. No. It's just the art style is very nice.
Yeah,
the way they've done
I don't think the art style was very. I don't know. Every time I look at a character, right?
See, I think
I couldn't buy into thinking they're real. They look so weird.
Because I found that they nailed the facial animations really well.
Oh, really?
They did it really well. I do think though.
I don't know.
What is happening though is they focused too much on it, which then again made the issues glare out more. Because like, I personally think the game did it well. It's just because it's like they zoomed in almost on the faces so much. It was like, okay,
I was looking at it and I was like, this looks weird.
It's like because you're looking at it for so long, you start to notice differences. Because like, I went back and I recently replayed Uncharted 4 because I'm a Naughty Dog fanboy and I love all their games. And Uncharted 4, in my opinion, although graphically isn't as good as Last of Us, looks better than Last of Us Part 2.
Yeah, I don't think it looks that nice. That's my opinion.
I think it's the coloring, like the sets are just so grey and dark and depressing and bleak.
Yeah.
It ends up not making it go like, oh wow. Whereas like Uncharted 4, again, there's a lot of really happy, like bright colors, woo! And like I think the facial animation is not. I don't think it's actually as good as Last of Us Part 2's. However, I think it looks better because they're not zooming in on the faces all the time, so you don't focus on it.
They're not covering up their mistakes, is what. Yeah, they're not trying to.
I mean, they are covering up the minor mistakes.
If there are any imperfections with their animations, we're gonna see it because of how close and how much we're looking at it. Is what you're saying.
Absolutely.
But anyways, that's all I wanted to say on that. If anyone had any opinions on that, feel free to share it with us.
I agree. I mean, we did have another game I wanted to bring up this week.
Which one?
No one's here. I wanted to originally talk about moments in non-horror games that scared the shit out of us.
I literally have nothing because I don't get scared. I'm macho man. Yeah, I just don't get scared.
Leon, I just called you Leon. Jesus Christ, Mitchell.
Oh God.
I literally couldn't be further from.
Yeah.
Mitchell.
I definitely couldn't. The only time I could think of.
No, I believe that you
being scared is maybe what I told you before was like just a jump scare of like an enemy being somewhere you don't expect or.
Like, I think for me personally, and we'll, obviously again. For the people who come back next week, they can answer theirs as well.
Yeah, I literally have nothing for this topic.
For me, it's actually in Oblivion, the one I can think of. And
Tom Cruise movie?
No. In The Elder Scrolls 4 Oblivion, I used to fucking hate, there were like zombies. There were these undead creatures in the game that used to scare the shit out of me at the time when I first got it. Because it came out in 2007 or something. I think I got it when I was in grade 6. I was a pussy motherfucker. I couldn't play anything mildly scary or watch anything mildly scary.
Hey, that's fine, dude. Man, I'm that now.
I'm still bad at horror games. I'm still bad at I shit myself in horror games, but I enjoy them though.
Yeah, but I'm 22. I'm a little bitch boy. You can be okay with that. It's fine.
Horror stuff in games back then. I couldn't. It scared the tits out of me.
Yeah. Well, there you go.
Enemies. Holy shit. I remember you see one early on in a dungeon, and it was from then on, I used to be so scared going into caverns or caves in that game. I used to try and rush through. I'm pretty sure I missed so many decent items just because I didn't want to look around. I just wanted to get through the area because I was so scared of potentially encountering those enemies.
Yeah.
I used to scream, pause the game, and quit. Fucking love it. It was a bad time.
Well, there you go. There's our horror moments in non-horror games.
That's fun. Or like, actually, I got one recorded of me in Remnant on stream.
Nice.
But I mean, it's kind of horror-y.
Maybe.
That there's a genuine jump scare in that.
Oh, great! I can't wait to play that.
No, it's not scripted. I just wasn't ready, and an enemy jumped in from the side of the camera, and I squealed.
Oh, okay. Well, let's wrap it up.
Let's finish this off. So, yeah, guys, thanks for watching. Yep. If you want to comment a moment that you had that scared the shit out of you in a non-horror game.
Or any topics that you think we missed, or just any opinions that you have.
Hell, even a topic that you want us to talk about, maybe like a gaming opinion that we have, or something along those lines, like what we've done with the controversial opinions or something like that. If you have something like that you want us to talk about or think of for our personal experiences with that.
Yes. We'll just pretend to read it and won't do it. So, yeah.
Yeah. We'll just like it and never actually do it.
Yeah.
And then take years later and be like, it was our own concept.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, yeah. Thank you. Now, 3, 2, 1.
You've been nerd spiced.